Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to day 2 of SUGCON 2018. Can I hear a big round of applause for everybody? Thank you so much. I hope you had a very productive day 1. You're looking forward to day 2, learning and sharing knowledge with industry experts. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to invite on stage Himanshu Khanna. He's a country manager, Sitecore. Can I hear a big round of applause for Himanshu? Yeah, we love it when you show some enthusiasm. Himanshu's got some awards out here. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to put your hands together for all the MVPs present out here. Let's hear it out.
Can you hear me? All right. Thank you guys showing up at 9 o'clock in the morning. I know it must be difficult with the Bangalore traffic. For the guys who stayed back yesterday, joined us for the great dinner in the evening, thank you for that as well. And of course, thank you for being a part of the lovely community that we have in India. A bunch of you I've met earlier, most of you I haven't, and it's my pleasure to host you for this SUGCON, first ever SUGCON in India. A special thanks to Akshay, who's contributed immensely to the community globally. We've got people flying all over from Netherlands, Melbourne, Faye from Singapore. We guys are a bunch of lonely people coming in from Delhi and Gurgaon and Bombay, but we've got dignitaries amongst us. Thank you for all your contribution. I wanted to recognize personally all the MVPs that are present here and the ones who are not present here. So I'll be calling out people to take those awards today. First up, Kiran Patil from Horizontal Integration is here. Kiran, can you please come up on stage, sir? Big round of applause for Kiran. I know he's been a very persistent Sitecore community member, 10 years now. Excellent. Kiran, don't go anywhere. We'll have a photograph with all the MVPs right up in the end. Nitish Srivastav. Thank you. Thank you, Nitish. Yogeshwar Sharma. Yogeshwar. Anyone who knows Yogeshwar? Kiran, thank you. Okay. I'm going to call upon Vivek Mehra to take 4 MVP awards for on behalf of eDynamic. So Vivek, can you please come up on the stage? This is awards for Rohit Chopra, Anurag Agarwal, Rahul Khosla, and Abhiraj Banerjee. And Hari Babu, can we have you up on the stage, collect the award on behalf of Anandita? Is Hari Babu here? Well, thank you again. I don't see Chris and Sabine here. I had something to give away for them as well. So just in case if you bump into Chris or Sabine, please ask them to meet me backstage for a coffee, and there's some special awards for them as well. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for being here.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, time for some great photographs now. I request the MVPs to join us on stage and the leadership team as well. Thank you.
So all those people who collected the awards, the leadership, please come over. Let's get a photograph clicked. P, are you here?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause. I request the leadership team to stay back. Leadership team, please stay back. Thank you, MVPs. A couple more awards, and I would want the leadership team to be out here. We've been asking you to tweet, to talk about this event, and we got a couple of individuals who made an immense contribution out here. They made this event popular. Peter, if you'd stay back on stage as well. Peter? Yes, thank you so much. All right. So I'd like to call on these two individuals. They're getting a nice goodie bag. I have this goodie bag out here. This is what they're getting. Right? Thank you. Akshay, give it that. All right. No, Akshay is not getting it. Yeah, he's just doing the honors. He's giving away. So ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Balaji Babu. Put your hands together for Balaji Babu. But somebody tell him it's a wrong day to come late. All right, we'll preserve that for him. And we got another one, all right? Maximum reach, lots of likes. Put your hands together for Gaurav Agarwal. Oh yeah, he's here. What a happy man. Look at this smile. Put your hands together for him, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Just to make this really interesting, I think the first one really missed out. Did somebody try a lot? Yeah? Is somebody in the crowd, does somebody in the crowd think they deserve it? They tweeted a lot? They worked really hard for it? You really, really want it? I'll give it to the lady out there. Please come here. You lucky girl. Come here. Put your hands together for her. Yeah, yeah. Come here. Yes. Not you, ma'am. Her. She put her hands up. Yeah, yeah. That lovely lady. What a way to start the morning. Win some goodies. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on stage, doing the honors. We have a whole day today and a whole lot of goodies to give away. Talk about this event, tweet about it, make it viral, and thank you for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, here to begin this day's agenda with the topic, an introduction to Sitecore Experience Commerce, is Sitecore's very own technical evangelist. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and welcome on stage the very dynamic Rob Earlham. Put your hands together for Rob.
I think Himanshu still has my clicker though. There we go. Okay, hello everybody. My name is Rob Earlham. I'm a technical evangelist with Sitecore, and today I'm going to give you an introduction to Sitecore Experience Commerce. But before I go into the product itself, I want to go and take a look a little bit back in time, see where e-commerce has come from and where we are today. So Gartner says that e-commerce is buying and selling goods and services on the internet, mobile networks and commerce infrastructure. Basically buying things online, but I'm pretty sure we all knew that. But can anyone tell me what the first thing bought online was? Any guesses? Books? No? Any other guesses? Book? So a lot of people think the first one was marijuana. In 1971, a couple of students at MIT did arrange to buy some pot online. But they didn't pay over the internet. They paid in person. So I don't really think that's an online purchase. The next one a lot of people talk about is some groceries. In 1984, there was a lady called Jane Snowball, and she ordered some groceries using a system called Videotex, which is an old school system in the UK which linked CRT televisions via telephones. But again, she ordered it online, but paid cash in person. So it's not really an online transaction. For the first actual online transaction, we have to go forward another 10 years. And there was a bloke called Dan Cohn in the US, and he created a site called NetMarket. And this was the first online purchase. Someone bought an album by Sting called 10 Summoner's Tales, I think it is. Cost $12.48 plus shipping, but the entire transaction was done online. So he ordered online, the payment was made online, and the interesting thing about this was it's the first ever payment made in the history of mankind that was encrypted. But that tells us where we've come from, but where are we today? If you look at the amount of business that's done through e-commerce, the numbers are staggering. These are in trillions of US dollars worldwide. If you go back to 2014, we're at 1.3 trillion. Through to 2018, we're at 2.8 now, and we're predicted to get up to $4.5 trillion worldwide, which is crazy, crazy numbers. Even if we look at Indian specific, now these stats are a couple of years old now, but you can see from 2009 to 2016, there's a tenfold growth in the amount of traffic and business that's done through e-commerce. And I'm no doubt that in 2018, a few years ahead of this, we'll be even higher still. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that in 2018, if you're a retailer and you're not doing e-commerce, you're going to have a bad time. But how is e-commerce changing? Well, it's changing architecturally. We've seen a move away from the old school monolith systems where you'd have one application with all your features tightly coupled together, delivering all of your functionality in one system, and a move towards a more microservices-based approach. Companies like Amazon, Netflix, eBay, Twitter, PayPal, all the big hitters in the industry have all moved towards microservice architecture, sorry. And Sitecore are planning to do the same. That's where we're heading as well. But it's not just architecturally that's changing, it's changing functionality-wise as well. The days of just creating a storefront, throwing some things online for sale and hoping they sell are gone. Customers nowadays want a more holistic approach. They want a constant, seamless experience, regardless of the touch points where you interact with the brand. The days of siloed experiences, having a very disjointed one between web and mobile and in-store, they're gone. They don't work anymore. So I've got a couple of examples of e-commerce done badly. This is a tweet I saw about a month ago, and I found it pretty amusing, and I wanted to talk about toilet seats live on stage, so I figured I'd show it to you all. The funny thing about this is, it's from Amazon, and Amazon are usually really good at this. But in this case, they got it pretty wrong. They had all the data. They knew that this person had bought a toilet seat. They knew that they knew who'd bought it. They knew when they bought it. Well, they didn't have the contextual data that normal people don't collect multiple toilet seats. The next example happened to me. This was about a year ago. I was looking for a new bag. I do a lot of traveling, so I wanted to get a good bag that would basically fit my purpose really well. Like everything I buy, I spent many hours researching it, probably too many, to be honest with you. But I found one that I really liked. Bought it. I still use it today. It's a fantastic bag. The problem was that 2 weeks after I bought it, I received a discount code on that bag from the shop. And that's really annoying, because that could have saved me money, and it arrived too late for me to use it. I contacted them. I asked if they could retrospectively refund that discount or offer me a voucher instead, and they said no. And look, I'll still use my bag. I'm very happy with it. But when I come to buy a new one in a year or two's time, I probably won't use that company. It's really hard to shake off a negative experience like that and win customers back. And that's what we're trying to say here. It's really easy to do e-commerce badly, and sometimes you don't even know you're doing it badly. Both of those examples, Amazon and the bag manufacturer, they thought they were doing the right thing. Usually you think you're offering a discount to a customer. That's going to make them happy. But if you do it in the wrong context, you can actually annoy them and lose their business. So how can you do e-commerce right? This is an example we talk about having a tight integration between these old siloed infrastructure pieces, which can deliver a really engaging shopping experience. So here we have an example of a guy called Mike, and he's browsing for some hiking boots on our website. Mike's also interacted with us via our social brands, so Facebook, Twitter, and the like. And we know through this that he has a good interest in hiking. We also know that he shopped on the store previously last week, bought himself a lightweight vest. On the back of this, marketing sends Mike an offer for some boots, showing several pairs and other products that are typically bought by first-time hikers. Mike comes back, adds the boots to his shopping cart, but never really checks out, doesn't complete the purchase for whatever reason. On the back of that, the system automatically, without any user input, within 24 hours, sends Mike another email reminding him of this abandoned cart and giving him a free shipping promotion. Mike's pretty happy with this. He comes back to the site, but he also buys some socks, a flashlight, some waterproof pants, and some of the other things that were recommended in the earlier email. But the interactions don't end there. A few months down the line, we know snow season's approaching. So marketing target Mike again, offering different discounts and offers based around hiking in snowy conditions. And they follow with the brochure for essential winter hiking gear. Finally, Mike's so impressed, he comes back and buys snowshoes and poles. So in this scenario, we've converted a lost sale into about 7 or 8 purchases of different items. And that's a really engaging story, and it elicits a really positive response from the customer, and that's usually, shut up and take my money. So how do we do this? Well, you need data. You need to know what your customers are doing. You need to know how they're interacting with your brand, and you need insights. Having all the data in the world is great, but if you don't have any insights based on that data, customers who did this also did this, then again, it's not going to help you much. Finally, you need a platform that lets you execute on those insights. You need the functionality at your fingertips to be able to make informed decisions and hopefully affect your customers' buying actions. And we can do all this anonymously. We don't even need to know who you are. It's a really strong story of having Sitecore, the e-commerce system, with the WCMS, all behind a DXP. We know everything about all our users. Whether we know about them or not, we know what they're interacting with our brand, and we can use that data to target them to try and drive up revenue. So that's enough about e-commerce in general. Let's talk about Sitecore Experience Commerce. How do we achieve this with the tools that we provide? Well, there's 4 key areas that I'm going to focus on today, and those are rich features, simple extensibility, accelerated development, and an integrated platform. With Sitecore Experience Commerce, out of the box, you get all the standard features you expect to get from an e-commerce system. Things like catalog, shops, checkouts, fulfillment, payments. I'm not going to go into all of these today. I'm pretty sure most, if not all of us, have bought things online and are aware what all these are. But I'm going to pick out a couple of key ones. The first one is our new merchandiser interface, called BizFX. This was released in 9 back in January, and it's a complete rebuild of our merchandising tools, all done in Angular 4. This communicates directly with the Sitecore Commerce Engine, and it's blazing fast. We also have our new catalog and inventory system. This is all based around the concept of a sellable item. This is based on the schema.org product schema, so it's an industry standard definition you're dealing with. And these sellable items are grouped into categories and catalogs that allow you to build out your catalog structure. And it's a really flexible way to do it that allows you to build out really simple to really complex catalog structures, dependent on the scenario you need to cater for. With customers and orders, we have the ability to track an order right the way through its life cycle, from when it's first placed to when it's completed and delivered down to the customer. With customers, you can see all the interactions that the customers had with your brand. So that's every item they've purchased, but also every item they've added to the cart, every item they've removed from the cart. We have an extensible and really powerful pricing engine. This is based on the concepts of price books, and it allows you to set dynamic, time-based pricing for all of your products. This is helpful for if you have an offer, say, running throughout May. You could schedule a price change to happen on bang at midnight on the 1st of May. You don't have to sit up at night waiting to push the execute button. This can all happen ahead of time and just tick over instantly for you. We have a really powerful rules-based promotion engine. And this is based around the concepts of qualifications and benefits. So qualification is an action that the user has to apply to receive the benefit. An example would be a qualification of having $100 worth of stock in your basket, and then you could have a qualification of free shipping. And that creates the offer of buy $100 worth of things, get free shipping on your order. So let's see some of this in action. Hopefully the demo gods will be kind to me. Log in first. So the first thing you'll notice with commerce, when you get to the launchpad, you'll see a new icon on the left. This is for the business tools, BizFX, that I was just talking about. We click on here, and this launches the new Angular application I was saying. So this is an Angular 4 app, which communicates directly with the Sitecore Commerce Engine. It's authenticated via an identity server instance. Once it loads up, I need to log into that. And this is where we do all of your merchandiser management. So where you manage your catalog, your pricing, your inventory, and you can see all the sections on the left here. Here we can see we have a Habitat master catalog. We can see some categories that have been defined. If I go into one of these, we can see the actual products in there. Here we can see different variants for the products, all the different features and properties you'd have to set. If I go back to the actual merchandiser launchpad, you can see we have sections on inventory, pricing, promotions, orders, and it's all really fast. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about setting up a promotion. So I'm going to go into my promotion book, and here you can see all the promotions we have available on the site. But I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to say I've got some fridges in stock that I need to get rid of, so I'm going to create a voucher for that. So I'm going to create a new fridge coupon for 50%. I'll copy that into these fields, and we'll set it to run till the end of May. The is exclusive checkbox at the bottom, that basically defines whether this coupon or offer can be combined with multiple. So if it's exclusive, it can only be used on its own. If it's unexclusive, then you can combine them together. So that's created our offer down here, and you can see it's in the draft state. So we'll go in and we'll start to set up the details. Well, first off, I want to only have this available for the fridge that I've got loads of stock of, that I'm trying to get rid of. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to choose the Habitat master catalog, and I'm going to make it for this fridge here, which I'm trying to sell. Here you can see that's automatically added a qualification rule. So as I said before, the qualification rules are actions the customer needs to perform to get the benefit that I'm going to add shortly. So in this case, they need to have this fridge in their basket. And when they do that, I'm going to add a I want the car item specific % off. It's not the best name I've read, but so I'm going to give 50%, huge discount. I want to get rid of these fridges. I've got too many of them. They're clogging up my warehouse. And I'm going to go through, and I'm going to select that same fridge that I added to the qualification. So that's getting there, but currently that's going to be available to everybody. So that's going to mean that everyone who adds that item to their car is going to get that discount. And I still want to try and make some money off it, so I'm going to attach a coupon. And that means that I have to provide a coupon code for people to be able to get that offer. And that means I can basically try and narrow it down a little bit to only give the discount to people that I want to. So I'm going to create a public coupon code, and I'm going to call it fridge 50 off, if I can type properly. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So what we do next is we request approval. And this is where you have a workflow process that maybe you have a different person creating your promotions as you have another person who approves them before they go live. In my case, I'm going to be doing both, so I'll approve it. And now we can go back And we can see my fridge coupon 50 is approved and live on the site. So it's really that simple. You can see how easy it is to create it's basically to interact with the commerce engine through the new business tools and create an offer on the fly without using a developer at all. Where was I up to my slides? Here we go. So you can see you get really rich features straight out of the box. But the other thing I wanted to talk to you about was simple extensibility. Obviously, as Sitecore, we can't provide every single piece of functionality you're ever going to require as an e-com business. It's not possible. We don't have enough developers to do that. We don't want to do that. So we made it really, really simple for you to extend the out-of-the-box functionality. And we've done that with a plugin-based architecture. A plugin-based architecture is described here as two types of architectural components. You basically have your core system and a set of plugin modules which then hook in to provide the actual functionality. And I think this is a really good diagram that shows how that exists. And you get a lot of benefits when you design software this way. You end up with all your code being really loosely coupled because all of the functionality is imposed. This, for example, would be an order plugin. It all exists in one location. You don't have bits of the order functionality dotted out throughout your system. That makes it really testable. You don't have dependencies hooking in everywhere. It makes it really easy to mock out any dependencies you do have because all of code is isolated in there. It makes it really easy to debug. If I've got an issue with the order plugin, I know it's going to exist in this one location. I know I don't have to be checking code over here. It's all going to exist in one contained area. It enables parallel development really easily as well. You can have a different development team if you want working on all of these plugins. Because they're isolated pieces of code, it makes it really simple to work on discrete pieces of functionality. And it provides a really opinionated development direction. Because the core functionality in the middle exposes specific extension points, it basically guides the way you implement your plugins and your functionality, which stops renegade developers going wild and creating some crazy things which no one else is going to get or understand. And this is also really good for your application footprint. So here you can see a typical example of some plugins that would exist in an e-com system. We have things like gift cards, coupons, payments, shipping, wish lists. But let's say, for example, you're running a digital download store, something like Steam, where you just sell games. You probably wouldn't need any inventory. It's a digital product. There's an infinite amount of them you could sell. So pull the inventory plugin out. You probably wouldn't need to have any stores. You don't need to ship anything either. So pull the stores and fulfillment plugins out. What this leaves you with is an application that is exactly the right footprint size for what you need to deliver. You don't end up with an overly bloated app with features bolted on the side, which you can't get rid of, but you never actually use. It's really easy, and it makes for a much nicer end product that you end up with. And the extensibility model is based on three concepts. The first is composable extensibility. We favor composition over inheritance because it makes it a lot easier for you to hook in your plugins and extend other elements. Say, for example, you want to extend your customer objects. You want to include some custom features and properties on there. If you do that through composition, you can extend it from multiple places in once. C#, obviously not supporting multiple inheritance. This is a great way to get around it. Progressive enhancements the next. And that basically means that you start off small and you build out your development as you go. With the plugin-based architecture, you can start off developing feature by feature and slowly, incrementally build out the functionality of your site in a really slow, controlled manner. And the last one's opt-in complexity. That basically goes back to the slide I just showed you where you can remove the features you don't want. You really just opt in to the amount of features that you actually need to deliver. So that touches on extensibility. The next piece I wanted to talk about was accelerated development. So we make it really easy for you to build out your custom features, but we also want to make it easy for you to do it quickly. And this is done through SXA. Typically, when you used to do development for Sitecore, you do all your phases in a very linear fashion. So you'd have your user experience, visual design, you'd have your front end, your back end, and then you do all your content population at the end. I can't tell you the amounts of projects I've worked on where you get to the end of the purple bit, and then you have to wait 3 months for the client to do all of their content population, and it's really annoying. You've functionally completed the site, but you can't launch because there's no actual content and they weren't ready. SXA is designed to combat that because it enables parallel co-site production. It means you can start all of these different work streams much earlier during the project lifecycle. Your compop can start really early on. And that's great because it means that your content editors are working in the code, well, in the CMS itself. So you're actually developing against live data. So you don't end up with the other scenario where you go live and you haven't factored in some kind of crazy data some content editors edited. You have it right at the start of the project. So you can factor that in from the beginning. It's basically a drag and drop toolkit. It gives you really simplified page architecture, and you get over 80 pre-built controls out of the box. So drag and drop interface, so you can basically build up your pages on the fly. With commerce, we've also extended that. We've introduced SXA Storefront, and this is a commerce-specific bolt-on for SXA, providing another 40 pre-built commerce-specific controls. So that gives you over 120 controls out of the box now when you use both of those. That's 120 pieces of functionality your dev team don't have to write. They're provided for you. It lets you go off and concentrate purely on the unique features of the site. And they're the kind of things that devs enjoy working on. I don't want to write another breadcrumb control. I'm sick of it. You get examples of some of the renderings you get here. You have renderings around account, cart, catalog, loads of the common e-commerce functionality you need to provide. So let's take a look at that in action. So I'm going to jump back into the CMS here, and I'm going to go into the content editor. And here you can see the site structure that you get with SXA. You have your tenant, which is Sitecore in this case, and I have my site inside it, which is my SXA storefront site. Underneath my home page, you can see all the different pages that have been created. And if I jump over to an incognito window here, I'll just warm the site up again. Here you can see the out-of-the-box site that you get with Sitecore Experience Accelerator. This is a full end-to-end B2C shopping site, completely working. Here you can see you have your main nav, things like your search bars, full product listing here. We can go into these products, all pricing, inventory, quantity. You can add it to the cart here, and then that will pop up in the mini cart up at the top here, and then you can go through the full checkout procedure. Again, I'm not going to go through this now just for time's sake. We've all been through a checkout procedure before. But what I want to show you is how easy it is to build custom functionality into here and how to build custom pages. So if I jump back to the content editor, here you can see those pages we were just looking at. The home page is the initial one with the big carousel on there. And you can see the product and category pages further down. But I'm thinking back to that fridges. Those fridges I really want to get rid of. Like, I'm sick of them. They're filling up my warehouse. I keep saying that. So I'm going to create a campaign landing page for my fridges. And I'm going to run an ad campaign somewhere through Google or something. So I want a new page for this. I want a nice, friendly URL for it. So I'm going to create a new page, and it's going to be the default commerce page. These options here are for different default stylings, and you'll see that in a sec. So I'll call it my fridge campaign. So you can see we've got our new page here. I'm going to jump straight into the Experience Accelerator. Here you can see all the scaffolding you get, and we got that by selecting the default commerce page. That's given us our header with the search and the homepage icon, which you saw before. Navigation, the 3 red, orange, and blue bars you see, they're a messaging control for when messages are returned to the user. Say there's been an error maybe, or something's out of stock. So it's just an example of how they're going to be displayed. But I'm going to start to build out a page now. So when you just load up SXA, you get this toolbox on the left, right even. And these are all the controls that are provided for you out of the box. I'm going to start off with a commerce one. I'm going to add in the category item container control. This is a little bit different from the other controls. It doesn't actually add any markup to the page. What it does is it allows you to set the context for all other controls you add within it to a specific product. So what I do is I edit the component properties, and I'm going to choose the fridge that I want to sell. So we go into my product catalog, and this is the fridge that I'm trying to get rid of. So here we have my catalog item container control, and I've set it to that specific product. What happens now is any other controls I drop into this container will use that product as their data source. So if down the line I want to change it to a different fridge, I'd only have to change it in one place. So that's pretty good, but let's start to add some actual content in. So I'm going to start with some page structure. And I'm going to add some columns. And this is based on a grid system. So this is basically going to give me two nicely spaced, even columns here. You can see we have a left col and a right col. That looks pretty good. So let's start adding some commerce content in there. So if I go to my catalog controls, then I'm going to add the imagery for the product in the left col. And here you can see it's taken its context from the catalog item container. This is the fridge that I'm trying to sell. That's pretty good. So let's add some more information over in the right col. We'll add the product information. I'm going to choose some basic UI text settings here. What else would we need? I think they're probably going to want to know the price. We'll drop the inventory on there. Again, just selecting some UI text. If there's any variants, we should add that as well. Add it below. And the final one I want to do is I'm going to add my add to cart button. Because I want users to be able to add it directly from this page. I don't want them to have to then go to the product detail page. That's not good. Did that not add on? Let's try that again. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to save the page. And I'll publish it out to web. And it's really that simple. There you can see we created a new page. Again, no developer involved at all. I can now go to the storefront in my incognito window. Make sure I type the page properly. And fingers crossed, there we go. We have a campaign landing page. I can now go and create some Google ads somewhere, redirect everyone to my sxastorefront.com/fridge campaign URL, and they can go direct to the product, add it straight to their basket, and go about their shopping. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's jump back to the slides. So the last one of the 4 features I wanted to talk about was the integrated platform. What you'll find typically in a lot of e-commerce stores is they'll have the 4 main pillars that you need to do your work. So they'll have something that'll do content, they'll have something to do their commerce system, something to provide data and insights, and something to push all this out on the channel. But a lot of the time, there'll be different systems. You'll buy product A for this, product B for this, C and D. And while they may all be great at content, great at commerce, great at data and insights, they might not actually be designed to work that well together. So you'll find as a development team, you end up writing loads of plumbing code, trying to string all these things together. And the bad point around that is you're also left maintaining that. So when the content system does a version upgrade, you need to do that. You need to rewrite all the plumbing and check it works for your commerce and your data and insights and everything. And then your data and insights one might need an upgrade. And you've got to go through the whole process again. And it becomes really painful. But this is where Sitecore comes in. Because we do all this in one platform. We do content, we do commerce. We take in all the data, we store all the data, and we provide you the insights. And we let you push it out to all your different channels. And I've got my final demo now, where I'm going to hopefully pull all this together so you can see. So I'm going to carry on my fridge campaign. I've created this landing page. I'm pretty happy with it. But I'm kind of blind around it. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know how customers are interacting with it. And basically, I can't target them afterwards. So I'm not happy with that. I want to get more data around this campaign. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to start by creating a goal. So I'm going to go back to my Launchpad. And I'm going to go down to the Marketing Control Panel. And I'm going to create a new goal for my fridge campaign. That's pretty easy. And then I'm going to deploy that. OK. Now I can go back into my experience editor. Here's the campaign page I created before. I go to the optimization tab. And we have a goal setting just kind of hanging off the page here. So I'm going to go down. A sec, I probably need to refresh that because I've just created the goal. Let's try that again. So somewhere in here, my fridge campaign. So this is the new goal I created. So I'm going to assign that to the page. That saves it forward automatically. And I can publish that out. What that then means is that every user who comes to the site lands on that fridge campaign page. Their record in XDB will record that they've triggered that goal. And that opens up a lot of functionality within Sitecore, because now I can target and segment against those users who've completed that goal. So let's jump back to the Launchpad again. And I'm going to use this in an MA plan. This is the new marketing automation feature that was released in Sitecore 9. And I'm going to create a new nurture campaign for my fridge. So what we have at the top here is we have the entry funnel. And I'm going to select my fridge campaign. It should be in here somewhere. There we go. And what that means is every user who comes to the site, they have a contact created in XDB. They'll land on the campaign page, the fridge campaign, and that will trigger the fridge campaign goal. That means they'll then drop into this funnel. I don't have to do anything else. They are now in this campaign as soon as that will happen. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a goal-triggered listener. And what I'm going to wait for, I'm going to wait for the visitor order created goal. I'm going to wait for a week. So what that means is they've come into the funnel. I know they've clicked on the ad. They're kind of interested in the fridge. I'm going to wait for a week and see if they buy it. If they do, fantastic. That's great. The campaign works. I'm really happy with that. I'm going to send them an email. I created a couple of email templates in EXM ahead of this. And I created one to review your purchase. I'm just going to thank them for purchasing, ask them to leave a review on the site, try and get some more people to buy it as well. After that, I'd probably move them over to another campaign. As the example said before, I'd maybe reach out to them again in 6 months, see how the fridge is going, ask if they want to buy something else fridge-related, whatever that might be. The interesting one, though, I like, is the no path. So at this point, they've come to the campaign landing page. They've triggered the goal. They've entered the MA plan. But a week's gone by, and they still haven't bought the product. So they're kind of interested, but they haven't converted for some reason. So I want to convert them. I want to get them to buy. So I'm going to send them a different email this time. And what I've done here is I've created a discount code email. So that discount code I created back in my first demo for 50% off, I'm going to send them an email with that code. And hopefully, that should be enough to convert them into a sale. So once more, I'm going to add my goal-triggered listener. And it's going to be the order-created one. And let's give them 3 days this time. Again, if they've purchased, this is great. I can send them my review purchase email. And once more, move them over to the other campaign. If they still haven't bought the fridge, like, I've given them 50% off. I can't really go any lower than that. I still want to try and make some money. I'm not going to give it them for free. Again, I'd probably move them to a different campaign, maybe follow up with them in 3 to 5 months, see if they're still interested in a fridge, see what offers I have going there. But here you can see, basically, in a few short clicks, probably about 15 minutes total demo time, I've managed to create a coupon code. On the back of that, I created an entire campaign landing page. Then I tied that in with a goal. After the goal was triggered, I created the full MA plan, which nurtured them through, tried to convert them in with the coupon that I created earlier, and basically tried to drive as much sales as we could. So that's the last of my demos today. Hopefully that's a good introduction to Sitecore Experience Commerce and the power that you get with the platform. There's loads more I didn't have time to cover today. I only had an hour. But does anyone have any questions? Go, actually.
If someone were to get started with commerce, what would you suggest are the first steps?
The easiest one would probably be download the product, get it all installed. When you install it, you get the full end-to-end B2C storefront there available. So you get examples of how to build out all of the pages. After that, you can start looking into how the engine's built, all the plugin architecture. And we've got level 100, 200, and 300 training being released, I think, at the end of this month, start of June. Yeah, and there's a lot of resources online available in the community. There's really a lot of good resources becoming available for it. Cool.
Is there any third-party integration product information?
Is there what, sorry?
Product information, third-party integration.
So for pulling in data from a PIM or something?
Yes.
So, sorry? Yeah, sure. So the question was, is there any integrations with third-party systems for product information, like with a PIM? So we have a couple of integrations coming along that are down the path for integrations with Dynamics 365 and the like. The problem with e-commerce in general is there are so many different ERPs, PIMs, everything out there. We kind of can't cover them all. The thing I said before about SXA freeing up your developers to do the fun tasks, that's generally your integration work. So most of your development time when you do a commerce build is going to be integrating with your third-party systems. Go on.
Sitecore provides enrich of data, product data.
Does it provide
Enrich of product information.
an image?
Enrich of product information.
So does Sitecore allow you to enrich the product information? So currently all of the data is stored in the commerce engine. It's not stored in Sitecore itself. We have an item provider which pulls the product information into Sitecore. When I set up the catalog item container, you could see the product listing in there, but there's no two-way sync currently. So you can't edit in Sitecore and push back into the engine. You have to go into BizFX to do all the editing.
Excuse me.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you have a question, please do raise your hands. I'll give you the mic.
Hi.
Go on.
First of all, thanks for such a great session. I have a couple of questions. Does it require a separate licensing model?
So it's all run off the Sitecore license. If you want to speak about licensing, Himanshu is somewhere here, and he would love to talk to you about that.
Okay, fine. And the second thing is, behind the scene, it creates multiple roles, like authoring, minions, all these.
Yes.
Do we have any guidelines to set it up on a scaled environment?
So we have a Devops guide, which is available now. So how do you mean by scaled?
Maybe set all these roles on different servers. And I have gone through that Devops guide, but there is very limited information available. Apart from that, is there any other information available?
So the best way of we have a performance guide coming out shortly, which is basically you can expect to get X amount of traffic through this many engine roles. It's going to be really individual based about your implementation though. It depends on whether you have a lot of traffic coming into your storefront, whether you have a lot of traffic coming in from a high number of authors, means you'd have to scale your authoring instance. If you're having issues around getting the scaling right, you could always reach out to Sitecore. We've got a services team who can come out and help you with that, and we'd be happy to do that.
Thank you so much.
Hey, this side, Karthik here from Capgemini. I got two questions to clarify. So one is the workflow capabilities for product and product catalogs. Do we have anything around that? Because we know previous versions is not much of support on that.
We will have that, I believe, in about 3 weeks. The next version has workflow.
That's really great news. The second thing is on the migration path from the legacy commerce systems, starting from SES, not just only the Sitecore Commerce, from SES to XE, that what we are having now. Do we have any straightforward migration path or guidelines towards that?
So when you're coming from older versions like SES or Commerce Server, the code base is entirely new. So basically, you're going to have to tweak your integrations. The pieces on the other integration side are probably going to be okay, but you're going to be storing them in the new commerce engine and the new commerce engine database. So that bit's going to have to be redone. For data migration, we provide a migration tool from Commerce Server. So if you're back on SES, I'm not sure if there's a migration from SES to Commerce Server, but the easiest way, if you're coming from an older system like that, would be to use the Commerce Engine APIs. There's an API to upload a JSON document of products, so you could do it that way. You'd have to basically write your own little migration tool for that.
Okay, thank you.
Hello. Hello. Yeah, this. Does it provide support for product bundling?
Product bundling is on the roadmap. We don't have it yet.
Okay. And what about publishing? Like we create entities for pricing and promotion. So how we will publish those?
So you do that through the approval process, which I showed before.
Okay.
So you basically leave them as a draft state, and then when you're happy with them, you can set them to approved. But you can also set a time frame, so when they become available and when they finish, kind of thing.
Okay. And in like last version 8.2.1, there is a feature for virtual catalog. So does it also available in Sitecore 9 Commerce?
No, so it doesn't. So the catalog system's been completely rewritten. Okay. So now it's slightly different, that you have the concept of a sellable item, which exists outside your catalogs. And what you do is you basically create a catalog, and then you add your sellable items in, which is a similar kind of concept to the virtual catalog that we had in Commerce Server. But you don't actually need them with the new structure.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is Kunal here. Rob, yeah. So I just have one question, like you said that this is what you have created for the e-commerce platform, and when we are wanting to sell it to our customers and make a bigger e-commerce platform from this, one of the question comes is, since it is very tightly coupled for us to Sitecore, one thing comes in mind is how often do you see breaking changes coming in? Because in this we see less of developer work, which means we have to rely on you. And with that, we run into risk if there are too many breaking changes in coming releases. So how do you see that?
Yeah, so obviously we want to minimize breaking changes. They're not ideal. Peter mentioned in the keynote that we're moving to a new release cadence, which is 2 releases a year. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's only one of those can contain breaking changes. Both? Yep, so there's 2 releases a year, and that is the only time that we will introduce breaking changes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the next question would be the last. That side, please.
Yeah, hi, this is Arvind. I just wanted to ask how customization would be easy if we want to change some business logic behind those existing components. How would it be easy for us to customize that?
It really depends on the scenario. So with SXA, you have a concept of rendering variants. So if it's just a case of changing the layout a little bit or adding a little bit of extra data, you can do that by just creating a new Razor file. If you want to wildly change the functionality, you'd be going down the route of creating your own rendering. But there is a lot of base functionality in SXA to make that easier. We have like base repositories, base managers and things you can leverage, which gives you like mocking functionality for your unit tests and everything.
No. My original question was related to a business logic, like when we add the component add to cart, I want to do some customization behind it. When a product is being added into the cart, I need to perform some business logic behind it. So how can we do that?
Yeah, so you probably wouldn't do that on the storefront. So those controls there, they all run on the Sitecore storefront, but they all communicate back to the commerce engine here, and that's where all the commerce functionality exists. And that's all based on pipelines and processes exactly the same as Sitecore is. So you have an add to cart pipeline, you can then remove processes out of there, you can add your own in. It's all completely customizable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Rob. Can I hear a big round of applause for Rob?